All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of um, Unprepared and Live. You can tell that I'm not posting. There's the link for my fellow people coming on in. I was having some technical difficulties. I got one watching in here. Matt, Orlando, what's up, fellas? I know you're about to join in here soon. I think so, or hope so. Like my new hat. Where's that? There we go. I can't even feel like both my hands. I can't even function today. Matt and Ty.
Good evening, guys.
Endo.
How you doing?
Man, I was having some.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Ty.
Difficulties, man.
Orlando, how you doing?
Great.
Hi. Say hi. Sorry, I had to go close my door. Look at this.
Hey there.
Come here.
I'm kind of watching the Heat game on the side over here.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
If
We
you
got
watch
the
me
Stars game
looking,
on downstairs. Hockey
All
game.
all right.
So you already know these two.
Yeah.
Orlando, this is my son Grayson.
Hey, Grayson.
He's gonna be at the National with me.
They say we'll see them in Chicago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, they play Fortnite with Tyrus sometimes.
It's been a while.
I haven't played Fortnite
I know.
in like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi
Scott,
guys.
Hey,
back
Scott.
from the car show.
Yeah, just
You
barely
like
in the
my new
door.
hat?
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got it last Saturday when I in
Went
the
home?
airport on my way back from Detroit. Went up
Great.
there and gave my mom our old van, 2018 Honda Odyssey. She needed a new ride. Got the wife a new one, so
Davy Kloss.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, Davy Kloss. Speaking of,
Ooh.
there's a card in there for you.
I got some cards here for a few people myself.
So I got to go through and price these things and stuff from a guy at work. I haven't bought them yet, but I'm buying them. So one of them is definitely going to you. You want to see what it is?
It's up to you, man.
I'm going to show you.
Well,
I just
sure.
got to find
I'd
it.
like to see what it is.
Now you have to. I think you're obligated.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to solo layout here.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
It's the
Is it the Hallmark? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hallmark one. We don't have that one.
Yep, there you go. Ah,
Oh, there you go.
I like how you magically flipped it over like that.
yeah, but there you go. Yep.
Nice.
So,
Very generous. Yeah, we don't have that one for our collection. So I think that's like 94, 95 or something. Somewhere in the mid-90s.
yeah, I don't know. It came in the Christmas order. This is
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
a 96.
96. That's close.
I like when they put those old photos in there, you know. Those are vintage photos they put in the modern cards, and they just look great.
Yeah, I thought about you today, Orlando, because I think you showed this before, but I finally got this one from the 60 New Scoops. I think you had this one before. I got this pulled out for Joe's Celebration VR.
Yeah,
But,
that's a
we'll
good
do it
one.
later.
I like that. Yeah.
But it came in the mail today. It's not graded yet, but pretty nice. Came from that Greg Morris. I never bought from them before, but looks pretty good.
Greg Morris is good. I've bought some
Let me
things
see
from
it.
them. They have some good. When they say that what the
yeah.
grade is, it usually is pretty accurate.
You know me, I just like the oversized cards. I don't know
That's
why.
a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. He said it's an 8. I don't know if it's an 8. The back looks. I never had one of these. The back looks kind of dirty. I don't know if you can even tell or not. There's like little spots. Maybe that's the way it is. don't think
I
so.
think most of them are like that.
Yeah.
A lot of them that I see are like that.
Okay, but the corners are pretty good. It wasn't too bad. I just needed. There's one more he has in 60. I need to get as well.
Those are little oversized cards, so they're tougher to.
Yeah, they're like the
in
same
great
size as the
condition.
exhibits that I know Scott loves so much.
Yeah, Scott's a big
Yeah, I
fan of
couldn't-
the exhibits.
Yep.
Hold on, I want to go solo on your screen, Scott. I want to see your background there.
I
The
see
pennants in the
pirates.
background.
Oh, nice pennants.
Some pennants I picked up while in Oklahoma.
What years are those from? I see a 62
60, 62, and 71.
Okay, those are nice. Dang. So, since you two are on, Matt, I'm going to send him a copy of it. So I was watching Mike, baseball collector, talk with Eric, those back pages on the golden age of cardboard. And at the one part, they were talking about the like taking down notes and everything for the table, the booth, and and stuff like that. So I ended up doing a spreadsheet today. You can see it.
Yeah.
Of the card, what it was. I got to add the price, and stuff in there too. But if you guys want to copy and modify it your way, it's an Excel spreadsheet. Stuff I can email it over to you. Just text me your email.
Yeah. Yeah. You have mine. I think well, either way, you can go ahead and just text it.
Okay. I think I could I'll try to send it through a text then to you.
Yeah, I think that having the hard copy is gonna be good because, like, otherwise, I hear the Wi-Fi is terrible. We haven't never been, but I hear the Wi-Fi is awful.
Well, it was. I don't know about Chicago, but it was in Atlantic City for sure. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dom.
Yeah, because I know I talked to Adam, Vintage Sanctuary today, and he said he has his own way of doing things. He has his own like Google map or notes or whatever it is and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you might not be able to do it. Hey, Jim. So I was just like, hey, do the spreadsheet kind of thing. I got to send it over to Dom too. So
yeah, you can't rely on the internet in the Tire Convention Center during that. But Adam's going to be old school, lugging around his stone tablet with what he needs. So it's gonna be fun to watch him work.
It's gonna be Fred Flintstone or Moses.
Hey, better safe than sorry. If
Yeah.
you don't have internet, I mean, you got to have something to back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a little notebook helps.
Yeah, my list is not going to be that long, but one page is more than enough.
No, well, I'm saying like on this would be more of a like you find the card that you want, but you're not ready to purchase it yet, and then that way you can take down what the card is and say you have multiple of the same card, and then that way you're like, oh, this is like the better price here. This is where it was at this booth, and the dealer's name, on it, and then I think that's kind of worked for me. I don't know. But
yeah, I think that's a great idea. What I did last year, and I thought it would be a great idea, but then I got lost. I actually went to the booth, and if I saw a card that I liked, I would video that booth with the the name or the card or whatever of that dealer, so I knew to come back, because I was kind of just walking the floor, and every time I'd see a nice vintage table with a card I liked, that's what I would do. But then when I got back to the room, I'm looking at the videos and I'm like, oh no, I had no idea where I was, and I had to get like a floor, like a map and all this and that. And then it was just so confusing. So something like that would definitely help a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the map got published finally, and it's huge. Oh my gosh. They're saying it's like 40% larger than last time in Chicago.
Yeah, I heard that they got like an extra more. I don't know if there's another room or more space.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because like the Dallas card show is pretty big, and like I hear this is like way bigger than the Dallas card show, so I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you can't get lost. You can't get lost in Dallas.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Have any of you guys been to Chicago before?
Yeah,
No.
I've never been to Chicago. How is it, Scott?
It's busy. It's a nice location. the YouTube get-togethers right across the street at the Embassy Suites, or whatever the name of that motel is right now, and a lot of places to eat right close by. A lot of hotels. I think my hotel is about a 5-minute walk.
What hotel did you get?
I've never been. I'm staying at the Lowe's. I don't know how far it is, but I know it's pretty close. It's within walking distance.
I think I'm at the Dom and I are at the Crown Plaza.
Yeah, it's not that far. I think it said it was like a 4-minute walk or something.
Oh, you guys are all lucky. We're renting a house, unfortunately. So the hotels were gone when I got my booking, and
Yeah.
it's way too
Well,
late.
I'm sharing a room. I have to share a room with somebody there, so I'm rooming with Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards.
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying at the National last year, Rick. That's why I made sure I had to come check it out this year.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Jim. Yeah.
Ben, you still in here?
Yeah, I don't know Ben. Do y'all know Ben? Maybe I haven't been on enough lives. I don't know.
Oh, that's
Anyway, I can't wait for the National. It's going to be so much fun, especially the
60
get together.
Yeah, exactly. 68 days or so. Are you guys going Wednesday night? Or when's your first day to go this year?
I'll be there Wednesday.
Thursday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there on Thursday morning also.
Okay. Yeah, I want to kind of go I wanted to go Wednesday night, drop off some cards. We'll see what the grading fees are going to be.
I get in Tuesday morning for some reason now instead of the afternoon because my airlines shifted everything, and then so I don't know. I'll try to see try to find somebody to get in as a dealer, help them out, set up or something. Hey, I got my 12-year-old and you need help bringing in stuff, or whatever.
If that doesn't work out, let me know. We can always get some pizza. We're going to be there. We drive up Monday. We'll be there all the rest of the week. So we're renting the house through like Tuesday the next week.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm excited to go meet everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I think it's more of a social get together with cards.
That's what it's all about, really. That's the best thing about the National.
Yeah, I was talking with James Elite Hunters today at the Dallas show, and he thinks that's probably the only reason he's going is just to visit with all the other YouTubers.
Was he helping out Louisville Cards and Comics today again?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was.
I met James at the National, and I got to tell you, we become very, very close friends after that. I mean, he had a stayover in Fort Lauderdale Airport, so he had to wait to fly back to Dallas for a couple of hours. So we hung out, we had lunch there and everything at the airport. I mean, we really enjoyed our time together and stuff, and that's really the best thing. And the YouTube party was just great, where I got to meet Mangini and just everybody was there. It was just awesome. So for sure, that's the highlight of the entire convention. I mean, even though I got nice cards, the memories really is what was the best part of it for me.
It seems like a lot of the Misfits aren't going this year. I think Rick's going.
No.
But a lot of the people aren't going to make it. I know Lou Rock's got Quinceañera, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lou's not going.
Yeah, Atlantic City's a little more Misfit friendly anyway, so it's not too shocking for me.
Yeah. Hopefully this will be the first of many.
Yeah, I was looking at today, at the map for Cleveland, out at I guess the IX Center. I guess it's like right next to the airport. Hotels are a little bit further out. So I've never been to the Cleveland one either. Anybody else?
No.
Yeah, we're gonna be there next year, Dave. We have family in Cleveland, so we're gonna go for sure next year. Then, like I said, we don't plan on stopping. I told my wife this is like a new tradition, so to speak.
Yeah, every summer go. Yeah, I'm right now. I'm looking at planning on going next year too. So
Yeah, now that I'm retired, I'm going to go every year. That's my one trip a year that I'm going to save up and make sure I do.
yeah,
Because like a lot of you guys, I collected by myself pretty much all my life. Really, before YouTube, you really didn't have many friends that collected. And if you ever started talking about cards, you know, even the family would kind of walk away. They're not interested in that stuff.
hmm
But when you get together with collectors, it's just like, we're just all friends. So
and
it's just great to be with other people instead of collecting by yourself. So for so long, and without YouTube, that's pretty much what it's been for many years for most collectors.
yeah. Well, since you brought that up, do you feel like a lot of people that watch YouTube and maybe like try to maybe create content that are coming into it now, or like, I mean, it's for the connections and stuff, but like I feel like my collection of stuff, it's like for me, like I'm the one that has to see it every day, but I feel like maybe like some people are just trying to, you know, not collect just for themselves anymore. It's try to stay, up with the Joneses, or trying to like impress other people that are in the hobby and doing this stuff. Any thoughts on that?
For me, it's about just collecting. I mean, I rarely sell any cards unless it's to get something I really, really want. But pretty much for me, it's just collecting. And what I don't like are all these people coming into the hobby just basically buying and selling, just flipping cards, and then that is really why the prices have gone up so much, because one guy buys it and I got to make $20 off this card. I got to make $30, and everybody wants to make money on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not really looking at the card and looking at the history of the card and the player and the background and who this guy is, And that's really what kind of upsets me, when a lot of these guys just do a lot of videos just for clickbait. They're not really collectors, but they just want to flash cards or whatever, and then they sell them and that card is gone, and they move on to something else that's new and fashionable and hot, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. That's why I don't really try to even watch a lot of these videos that talk about money and investing. And I don't think I ever talk about that in any of my videos at all. And I rarely even say what I paid for a card. It's just not about the money. I like a card. I want the card. I'm going to keep it for forever or for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really, the value isn't really there until you sell it. So what's the card worth? Well, right now it's not worth anything to me, because it's just my card.
Yeah.
And then whenever I sell it 20 years from now, I'll worry about it then, or whenever I sell it.
Just like the banks, if an asset's not available for sale, there's no value, right? Technically, held to maturity.
It's all on paper, technically on cardboard.
Exactly.
So the time will come when I'll sell it, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm going to enjoy the card. I'm going to, just enjoy the hobby. Really, is what I'm going to do now.
Yeah, I mean, some of my favorite videos of yours, Orlando, is like when you go through some of those '80s or '90s oddball, like that big Donruss set from the early '80s. I know, Scott, you had that one last week with the Condiment collection, I think it was. Like those are, I don't care about the value. I don't care about anything about the value.
I mean, some of those cards that are oddball cards are really, really nice. Look at something like this.
Yep.
That's the
it's
like Milton Bradley, Reggie Jackson. And these are pretty cheap cards, but to me it's just a card I like. I'm going to keep it. I'm not buying it to resell it.
Yeah.
But I like those oddball cards like that. That's a '69 Reggie Jackson, but nobody really even collects that one. They want the rookie tops one or whatever.
Hey Don.
He's Don.
Yeah,
but if you get Rick knows
Rick
those
and Don,
cards.
I know they're both in here.
They know all that stuff. Yeah.
I think the only thing, like you're probably saying, like you're not worried about the value of it now. I think the only value you're probably like looking at is like, what's it going to cost you to get the card in your possession? And that's it. And then after you get it, it's, you know, it's there, and it's not worrying about, oh, if I resell it, what am I going to get? Did it go up in value or anything else? It's just, you just have it there. And that, like,
even
that's the same thing with me.
even if I sell it for the same price as I bought it, I enjoyed it. So the
Exactly.
enjoyment is part of the value of having that card. You know, it's just you look at it, you enjoy it. So you know what? I had it for 5 years. I sold it, and maybe I didn't make any money on it or whatever. Maybe I lost $100 on the card. I enjoyed it while I had it, and it was something that,
Yeah.
hey, you know,
Now it's
how
someone
many times
else's.
you open a blaster box or something, you don't pull anything out of that. You put those cards away, and you know, you spend $100, and they're sitting there. You'll never look at those cards again, except maybe the one hit you got or something, if you even got that.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just I enjoy the cards. I enjoy the hobby, and you know, I've been collecting for all my life, and it's just fun. You know,
Mhm.
what's going
Getting
on, Lou?
Misfits in here now.
I
That's
know.
awesome. I'm gonna try to catch Lou. Next month, I'm going up to Orlando, so hopefully I can catch Lou at the Clearwater show or something like that. I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Who
What was
was
that card you were showing, Dom? I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about just 80s oddball stuff, and I got these for absolutely nothing. 85 Donruss. They fold and pop up.
Oh yeah, the stadium ones,
All-Stars.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Stadium All-Stars. So that's
Like
Jim
Astrodome
Rice.
cards or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see
Obby
you
Smith.
added more stuff in your background there, Dom.
This is just a lazy setup.
But I like all that oddball
Steve
stuff
Harvey.
like that. I've been picking up some of that stuff, Dom.
But yeah,
I've
stuff
been-
like that's great. I mean, Stooks has way more knowledge and
Oh.
stuff with the oddball stuff than me, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of interesting stuff. The more you dig, it's a pretty addictive rabbit hole.
Yes, Scott's got to have tons of that stuff. And also, there's a lot of oddball in football, and I've been picking some of that stuff up for just pennies almost. I mean, just a few dollars. Look at this. That's a 1972 Terry Bradshaw, and it's like a rub-off. It's called like a rub-off.
Yeah.
And
they
I
have those for
saw
baseball
that,
in
and I also
66,
saw
right?
that, and I picked up the Johnny Unitas. It's a 1972. I think it says 72 on there. And they're just the oddball stuff, and I see that there for $5-10, and I'm going to pick that stuff up. Yeah, Jim Brown.
Yeah, I picked this up. I picked this up at Dallas today.
What is
Is that a 62?
Football buck? Yeah,
That's really
Yeah, those are 62.
and it hasn't been folded either.
Wow, I haven't seen. I thought they were all folded.
Yeah, it's harder to find the ones that aren't folded. So, Scott, were those ones not in packs because they're not folded? Like, is that the
That would
story
be my
behind the not
guess.
folded ones?
That would be my guess,
Yeah.
because you'd have to fold them and put them in packs, otherwise they
I
wouldn't
think so,
fit.
too. Yeah, because my
That's a
Yaz
nice
was
one,
in one.
Scott. Though I had
folded
never
up.
seen that. That's the football.
He only had one football and he had two baseball. He had Willie Mays and some guy that played for the Braves. Hank Aaron.
Nice. I got that one here somewhere. Let me see. Somewhere. I was organizing earlier, and it's all over here. Shoot.
Hey, Orlando, since you're going up to Clearwater area, did you see the video from Signs of the Pastime where he did like that museum
Yeah.
with the autographed baseballs?
Yeah, that was a gentleman that collected. I don't know how many he has. I think has the Guinness World Book of Record for the most autographed baseballs, different baseballs.
Yeah, it was like
And I knew
5.
that museum was up there, but I've never seen it, and that was great. I love Hugo's videos. He does an incredible job of going to these different museums and things like that.
Yeah, like I didn't even know that was there. I've been to like Tampa,
Yeah.
Clearwater, St. Pete so many times and didn't even know because I knew that guy. I seen a YouTube video of him like showing like his collection and his like they had a vault inside of his house and everything. I remember seeing that before, but I didn't even know it was on display now. So next time I get down there, I'll have to check it out.
Oh wow.
It's one more oddball
Nice.
football item that I just got back from SGC a little bit ago. Lake to Lake Packers from '61.
Oh, I need to like Aaron. Those are nice. That's a nice set.
Well,
A lot of single prints that are worth more than the Hall of Famers.
Now, did they do a redemption on those too, Scott, like they did in baseball, where you
Yeah.
can send it in?
Yeah. Send with name and address, instructions on the back there.
I mean, to get a 6 is incredible. Like most people
Wow.
submitted all those in, right? And they're all stapled with holes in them.
They're all the Lake to Lake are in better condition than the Lake to Lake Packers are in better condition than the Braves. Here's a 8 that I got on Jim Ringo.
Oh wow.
Wow, an 8. That's incredible.
I had no idea they were just sitting in a showcase at a show, and I asked the guy what he wanted for all of them, and it was in my budget, so I bought them all.
Great job. Yeah, I saw a guy at one of the shows here in Fort Lauderdale, and I picked this up. I love these, the Kellogg's,
Yeah,
and he had a bunch of these,
those are-
and then he said he had one. This one was kind of separate, and he said, "Well, that one's a blank back proof." So I'd never seen that, and I bought it.
Hmm.
It was a blank back
that's really nice.
of Johnny Unitas Kellogg's.
And that color just pops. It's so vibrant still.
Yeah, I had never seen a blank back, so I said, "Hey,
Kellogg's
get
looks
that.
nice.
I love those Kellogg's cards. I have a whole bunch
Yeah.
of those in baseball, but I really didn't have the football ones."
It's a really nice set.
See, some of y'all want to start like collecting football, and that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
No, you know what happened with football? Well, I collect Dolphin players, and so I have Bob Reese and Larry Zonka and stuff like that, and certain players that that I like. Like I did a little video on Brian Piccolo because he's a local guy here, and so I did a video on him, and I collect his cards. But really, the football, it's so cheap right now, vintage football, especially raw. I mean, you can get a Johnny Unitas card for $5-10. I mean, and you can get these awesome players so cheap. If you get them raw, and why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick, I've seen your leg to leg video with your Hank Aaron. It's incredible. Like you called it a steal, right? But it was a beautiful card. Trying to find one. The only one on eBay right now is super expensive.
I don't think I've seen that video.
Yeah, it's the 1960 Lake to Lake. I think Rick did maybe 9 months ago or so, 8 or 9 months ago.
Oh, I probably did see it, just don't remember.
Did you see the spick and span postcards on eBay?
Yeah,
There's a
no, I'm
second
looking at one. And Theo sent me a picture today for the show he was at of a 60, and there's a 57. I'm keeping an eye on another auction site. So there's definitely some nice cards ended up soon. I think REA has an auction in on Sunday. Keeping a close eye on a few things. And then Golden just had one in a couple days ago with some Aaron stuff.
I saw a full set of the spick and span 8x10s today at the Dallas show. I think the guy wanted $500 for the full set.
Oh wow,
That's not bad.
So,
that's not bad at all. I probably would have got that.
Yeah, you
I'll show
would.
you where
I
it
was
is
bidding
tomorrow.
on a cons lot they had on this Golden auction. It was 7 of the 8 cons cards for Hank Aaron, all graded like lowest one was a 5.5, but it was over. I bought it at 5,000. It was I get into like 5,700 with buyer premium. It just was out of control. But there was you got 7 Aaron's graded, and there was 240 other cards ungraded by various players like Frank Robinson, etc. So you probably could have pieced it out. I just don't want to deal with it. I know I'm not good at shipping, as some of you guys may know. So I'd have been sat on 240 cons cards forever, probably. So
Well, you could have brought it to the National and liquidated it there.
maybe.
For all those guys in the 21 club, there was I think it was a 59 and a 60 Clemente cons there today.
Oh wow.
Nice.
I think one was like 1,100. I think that was a 59. Not sure. It could have been 58. But then there's a 60, or maybe it was a 60 you wanted 1,100, and the 59 was 2,200 or something like that. They're both graded.
Is there more vintage? I mean, have you been to the Dallas one yet? Or is this your first time, Scott, today? The Dallas Card Show.
Second time.
Okay, so was vintage about the
Seems
same?
like there's
around
more
15?
more. It seemed like there's a little bit more vintage this time.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm eager to go tomorrow.
I heard you two are meeting up.
We'll have to coordinate when we're gonna meet up.
Yeah, we usually go and grab lunch on the way, so we'll be there around midday. And I plan to stay till
Okay.
like 4 or 5. So unless you're gonna go there super early and be out by noon, we should cross paths for sure.
Sounds good.
But it's super busy on Saturday. It's at least last couple have been really busy. So, but it'll be fun.
Hey, Ziggy.
It didn't seem as busy this time because I pulled into the parking ramp and there was like a whole floor that was empty. And I was an hour later this time.
Yeah, last time I went, I had to park at the second lot. The one inside the hotel was full. And there's a one across the street that made us park in the last time because it was that busy. We got there like at 12:15, 12:30 on Saturday though, right? So
Yeah.
but it's kind of pricey, like $15 to get in for the show. I don't know. Like between that and parking, I'm out like $70 before I step foot in the building. So I almost have to buy something.
That's crazy. Is that much money
Yeah.
just to get in the door? And
Yeah,
park?
per day.
Wow.
I mean, the National is 25, right? But
Yeah,
that's
it's
different,
almost
right?
like the national. Well, I mean, they say that's the national of that area. You know, it's the
it's
biggest
the
show
modern
out there.
National. I don't want. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mean, hopefully I haven't been to the National. I'm assuming there's a little bit more vintage there. I know, like obviously, Strongsville is the big one for vintage, and then sounds like Pittsburgh's pretty good too, from what I'm hearing from folks. But Dallas just is a lot of modern.
The national is the best. I mean, as far as I've been, it's great. I mean, I took so many video. I told you guys earlier, I took video of a lot of the vintage tables there. I mean, I just kept posting videos and posting videos. There were tables there that had, I mean, 3 or 4 entire cases of just raw mantles. I mean, ridiculous stuff like that. I mean, and one guy had an entire case of the SP Jeter, all autographed. I mean, it's just stuff that you never ever see there. I mean, you go to a table and you see, you know, just tons of Jackie Robinsons. It's just crazy. So, but
I saw Jackie Robinson I
nothing
hadn't
like it.
seen before today. It was a 1956 Hocus Pocus.
Oh wow!
I hadn't seen one of those before in the wild.
Yeah, I've seen those, but the problem with those is that the picture usually is not very good on those, not very clear, because it's
Yeah.
kind of there are ones that Hocus Pocus, kind of like the magic cards that kind of the pictures come up. You know, I guess you wet them. I don't remember how it was, but a lot of times those are very light, and they're tough to find. Very, very tough to find.
Oh, look who's on. It's James.
Hey, James was at the Dallas show.
James, you should jump on if you want to.
Any of you guys doing any shows or anything like that this weekend?
No.
Other than Dallas, I'm going to a small show here in Naples. So anybody going to be in the Naples area? There's a show there in Naples. I'm going to meet up with one of the YouTubers, Mike Hitman 23.
Okay.
I'm going to meet
nice.
up with him. He lives in the area there, so I'm going to
Oh.
head over to his house, and then we're going to drive over to the show. I'll put some video up probably. It's on Sunday though. The show's Sunday only.
Okay. Now is the Dallas Card Show, is that like every month or is it every other month?
Every other month. They used to have it monthly. They had one in this Allen, Texas location, and then they had the one in Arlington. But the one in Arlington, they didn't renew for this year. Arlington was like maybe half the size, which I
Yeah.
kind of like because it's a lot closer to my house. Like 25 minutes instead of an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. I don't know. I might have to come out there like after the National.
Yeah.
And
Anyone's welcome to come. Like Mike Moynihan said, right? You can stay at my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
well, I figure, come out and I think it'd be a good time to, show up after the National. That way I've already met Mike and, you in person and stuff. And then maybe, come out there and stuff and just crash at your place and go hang out at Mike's, check out the beast.
Yeah.
More importantly, go see Norman.
Exactly. And Julie too, right? And like his son's Palmer, I think. I don't remember his daughter's name, but yeah. No, Mike's good people.
Jessica, I think.
What's that?
I think it's Jessica.
Okay. The one that just graduated, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome on, was it Wednesday night, Tuesday, whatever night the live stream that was really popular, obviously. I'm sure a lot of you guys were on there, I think, right? With Chris and Mike. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
I've
Jake
never
won a
met
slap
Mike.
card. That's my favorite part. Jake won a slap card. I love it. You know he's going to crack it.
Ziggy says Chantilly. Chantilly show's supposed to be a lot of vintage there.
Yeah,
I heard that. That's nice. I wish I knew about that before I retired.
Virginia, right? Is that Virginia?
Yeah. Yeah, because
I've
That's the one
never been
Nupsack
there,
card
but-
goes to, I think. I think that one is really good.
Yeah, that's one on my list. I definitely got to go to that one.
yeah, I was up there up in DC area. I was at Fort Belvoir my last year when I retired out of the Army. So I wish I would have known, that was going on up there. I think that would have been fun.
Here in Florida, the best shows are in Central Florida, in Orlando and Tampa, Clearwater area. A few around there. Those are the best ones. And they have some shows somewhere in the middle of the state, Apopka, those areas. A lot of the retirees are there. So you get a lot of vintage and stuff like that comes through there.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, did you get to meet Rich Klein today, or is he too busy at the ComC booth?
Yeah. I met Rich.
Good. Uncle Rich.
I had something verified by him. I picked this up, took a gamble on it.
Oh, wow.
The sheet of
Wow.
Ripken, and it's blank on the back.
That's really cool.
Rich says that it's questionable if it's authentic or not. I think he wrote the note for Beckett about it because he used to work for Beckett.
Yep.
Right.
So it's a display piece is what it's going to be.
That's a great pickup, Scott. I love that.
Yeah. I think anything Scott gets, or you, Orlando, or Dom, or Matt, like you guys pick up stuff. I'm over here, picking up, some weird, other stuff out of here. So
Everyone collects what they like, right? Doesn't
I
matter.
know. Yeah. But like Dylan's finally up in here.
Yeah, Dylan loves that Ripken card.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
so. If only was
Dylan,
rubbing you
come
out,
on
you'd
live,
be good.
Dylan.
Well, it's
See if Dylan wants to come live.
multiplayer cards.
Yeah, I put the link up in there
All right.
again for anybody to pop up in if they want to. There's room for one more. We got 11 people watching right now. So,
All right.
I mean, somebody, a couple people want to come on and kick me off. I'm fine with that too.
No. We came for you, Dave.
I know it's been a while since I've done a live. It's well overdue. So
We got a bunch of VRs to do too at some point.
Oh yeah, they're starting to stack up again.
Oh man, I'm thinking about doing one. I just don't know what to, have as a prize right now. Yeah, so
Well, I need a bunch of responses. So Jim's got his, Theo's got one,
Yeah.
Joe's got one. I want to do all of them, right? So
Yeah, you want to do all of them, but people don't realize it does take some time to do those because you got to go pull out cards. What are you going to show? How are you going to do? What kind of stuff? So it takes a little bit of time to do those. But let me tell you, that's the most fun that I like to do with the videos is do those VR responses.
yeah, I won't be
So
singing.
sometimes,
I won't be
sometimes
singing
you
like
just
John
get-
today. Did you see John's response?
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
great.
So, sometimes you just get tired of just showing cards and try. Well, what am I going to do now? And then hey, let's do this. So great idea.
hey Matt, are you gonna have Theo do the VRs for you with Tyrus?
With Tyrus, that's
Get
not a
more
bad idea. I
views?
can outsource it.
Yeah.
When he comes on my channel, we get a lot more views. So the audience has spoken, as they say, right? Give them what they want. I don't know. I think Tyrus likes to be on with me, though. Nothing against Theo. I think he still likes to be on with his old man, which is good. Subscribers, be damned, right?
Yeah. Dang, Lou's getting up early to go to work. You sound like
Yeah.
Joe over at
4:30.
South Corners.
He works hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou, for your service, my friend. Dom,
Thank you.
I love your podcast, Dom. How's
I
it going?
appreciate that, man. Yeah,
How's it
so
going?
the episode 8 will be coming out tomorrow. Solo Shot Sports Podcast for those of you that don't know on YouTube. It's on Spotify also for y'all audio only listeners. I know Sammy, S5 Sports Cards, and Dylan like to listen to them instead of watch them. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The sport's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, so Matt, I saw something today. The other day, and I thought of you. It's in my collection, and I don't know why I haven't shown this yet before.
What you got?
Huh?
What you got?
Here, let me just take it out of the.
Wait, is that a Hank Aaron order? You haven't shown it to me yet?
No, if I can get this lighting. So it's Al Downing.
Oh, the picture. Yeah, of course.
See, he inscribed it that.
Aaron 715.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Really
pulled
nice.
that out of one of those TriStar hidden treasures.
Yeah, that's not a bad. I mean, look, that's forever linked, right?
Yep. I saw that. I was like, oh crap! I forgot to show Matt that one or have it on here before.
You need to throw that in your celebration video for Joe as like the guy that didn't celebrate probably with Hank Aaron.
Yeah,
That's really cool. I'm telling you, I'm starting to get hooked. I watched an old video Jeremy did a few months ago with Matty C. I'm not sure if you guys know who Matty C is. He's really got a crazy collection of autographs.
Yeah.
He's really about eye appeal, but like now I'm like, do I need to get every base Aaron autographed tops? I'm just like, oh my gosh. Because I kind of now I'm getting into these autographed cards. I'm thinking I like the way those look, and there just aren't as many of them, right? In terms of the rarity versus like just the base tops. So I don't know. Theo told me I was crazy. I told him that today. It's like,
Be careful, you're going down too many rabbit holes.
I know. No, exactly.
Yeah, it will be
gotta
going
finish
on
that.
Apple eventually.
You got to finish that 55 Bowman set.
And then it's gonna go out in the pole barn.
Matt's gonna add about 10 more projects before he gets halfway on the autograph. So just
No,
give him the
that's-
time to get
shipping.
through those.
At least most of my distractions now are Hank Aaron related. I keep going down the rabbit holes. I'm like, okay, let me get all the Venezuelan cards.
Oh, jeez.
Now we got 3 of those out of the 14 of those. I don't know. I keep going from project to project within Aaron at this point. But we're making our way.
Well,
But it's
I
bad
know
that
I'm
the
always
mail lady
sending
comes with like
something.
6 packages a day now, and my wife's like, what is all this stuff? Nothing to see here.
My genie says only $3 each card. He spends only $3 a card. He tells his wife.
No, I just talk about how generous my friends are, and these are all gifts. No I'm kidding.
Yeah. I thought they were your packages, babe. I thought you were ordering stuff off Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying too much off of eBay anymore. I've kind of got pretty much the collection that I want. Just looking for a few cards here and there, and just looking for whatever catches my eye when I go to a card show. Like some of those, oddball cards like that, and I do like though, Matt, some autograph cards. I'm kind of getting into some of those vintage autographs. Sometimes you see something like in the last show. Here's one that I got. I don't know. I showed it in my video. It was this.
Yeah, Lou, I'll be there.
It's autograph.
Marischal?
ERA leader with the Marischal,
Yeah, that's
the
so cool.
Carlton, and the Gibson.
Oh, wow.
You see Gibson there. It's just tough to see it. And you got Carlton there. Too much
That's
glare.
really nice.
And then you got the
It's a really nice
Marischal.
piece.
So it was autographed by all three.
Yeah, there can't be
Tough to
that
see,
many
I
of those
guess,
laying
so.
around, right? You know what I mean? That's a really unique piece.
Yeah, something like that. I've never seen that, and I love the ERA leaders or any of the leaders cards. The home run leaders cards. I love all those leaders cards.
I do
And when
too.
I saw that one signed by 3 Hall of Famers, I said, I'm going to go for it. And wasn't too bad. It was a couple $100.
Well, apparently, Dylan's got the same
Oh,
card.
look at that. Dylan's got the same card.
Chances.
Oh, man.
Never mind. I stand corrected.
Twins, Dylan. I told you need to come on and show the card, and then we'll show it at the same time.
Yeah, if you
Who's
guys find a
vacation
third
next
one,
to-
let me know.
Yeah, who's gonna go to Hawaii next to vacation next to Dylan? I guess it's already been what? Ken did it. Who else
Yeah.
has been? Eddie went down there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I gotta stop buying cards when we go to Hawaii. That's not gonna work. So
It's too expensive, I think.
I'll have to see at the
But
national.
we're going to
Dylan.
see Dylan. We're going to see him at the National. I'm excited
Exactly.
to meet him at the National. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so I got a question for Orlando and Scott. Have you? I know Orlando. You said you don't normally sell anything, but have you, in the past, gotten rid of something that you regret getting rid of, that you wish you still had in your collection?
Well, I mean, I guess you always kind of regret it, but not really when you think back of what you got because of that, you know? So, but yes, I sold a lot of stuff. I mean, I had the entire 53 Bowman set, and I sold it all except for the mantle. I had the entire 57 set, and I sold most of that off too. And I had the entire 58 set. I sold pretty much all of that except for the mantles. But I had to sell off all that so I could finish my mantle run and really get my 52 Topps mantle. So
Okay.
I look back and I said, yeah, I missed all those. I had a lot of, you know, and I sold all my Jackie Robinsons too, unfortunately. I guess that's my biggest regret was my Jackies, because when I sold those, I sold them, you know, before the pandemic and stuff like that. So I guess I would say that's my regret, selling all my Jackie cards.
Yeah, because I could say like you could probably get your like the sets that you talked about that you got rid of. You can get those. You can build those back if you wanted
Yeah.
to, you know. But I like getting rid of that for the 52 mantle. I think was a good exchange, you know. So
Yeah, it was just, it was the right mantle for me. You know, it's how you look for a card for years and years and years and years, and you finally find the one that you want, and then you gotta sacrifice something. And you know, the other sets that I collect, I've sacrificed a lot of the stuff too. The Goodwin Champion set that I have. This is the first football card. I showed that earlier. I just took that out of the safe, but that's the
I
first
remember your
football card
video.
ever.
Yeah.
And so that's the set that I wanted to build, that set. So I sold a lot of my baseball cards also to get that set. And I got all the baseball players, the Cap Anson and the King Kelly and the Tim Keefe and all that, Dan Brothers. So that's when I decided I'm going to sell a lot of my 50s and 60s. And I sold pretty much most of my sets from the 60s, except the 62, which is my favorite, and I kept that. So, because I kind of went back, you know, it's one of those things. You just pivot your collection. And, you know, I started, of course, everybody's goal. I'm going to get every set from the 50s and 60s top set. So you start with that. And I was able to pretty much do that. Almost every set from the 60s and a lot from the 50s. But then I pivoted because I wanted to go even further. And, you know, as you know, I ended up getting some Babe Ruth cards. So I went back to the 20s for that. And then I went back to the 1800s and some of the T206s and stuff like that. So I had to get rid of a lot of those cards because, you know, I'm just a regular working guy. I don't have a lot of money. I've just been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's just lucky that you have the stuff. You have life events that happen and you need to sell part of your collection to get on with your life, and someone else's turn to curate that collection or that part of the collection and move on. And the other part might have been something that I've had before. Now I want to go in a different direction, like Orlando was saying, time to pivot, go in a different direction. And
yeah, and you know, at my age, I mean, I had so many cards, because I was a dealer one time back in the 80s and the early 90s, and it got to a point where, I just had overload, garage full of stuff, and I had to start liquidating because, I'm not getting any younger, and my family really wasn't too much interested in it. So, it's one of those things. You got to consolidate, get rid of stuff and get rid of stuff, get rid of stuff. And that's what I've been doing basically the last 15, 20 years, just going and upgrading my collection to have fewer cards, but better cards, and getting rid of all the other stuff that I could buy at any time that I want. I can go buy a 65 Hank Aaron today if I wanted it, in almost any condition, but you can't go back and find a 1888 Dan Brothers card or a Cap Anson or even Ty Cobb's, things like that. So I never had a lot of those cards when I was, in those days, and I figured, I got to go pick up some of those.
Yeah, that was awesome, Rick. That video, I'm sure y'all saw it today.
That video with Dave was the best video that I have seen on YouTube, because not only does it have just an incredible, awesome Joe Jackson card, but the story behind that, I'm telling you, I was very emotional. You can see he was emotional, and Dave's not an emotional guy.
No.
And, it was just, he texted a lot of people. I got a text saying, he was, I'm bidding on it, don't bid on it. And I was bidding on something else also for the auction, but what I was bidding on, I mean, I forget it. It went to over 5K. I gave up on that one. But, and then when he got it, he texted me the picture when he got it. And he's like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And it was like, I can't wait for him to do the video. And he finally brought it out. And it was just, what a story. And what an incredible thing that I feel his father did for him, of restoring that card and going through all the trouble of that and getting it, authenticated again and all that. And unfortunately, he sold it. And thank God he got it back. I think that is probably the most important card in his collection because of what it's worth to him, his value, personal, And if you look at, when I talk about my collection and I talk about my Mickey Mantles, I don't say that the 52 tops is my favorite. My favorite is actually the 53 tops. And the reason why it's my favorite is because I got that was one of the first mantles that I got, and I bought it raw, and I bought it at a card show many, many years ago, and it cost me like a couple $100, and it was one of those things that I didn't have the money, but I had to get it. I had to get it, and I remember I had to go back to the bank to get the money to come back and get it the next day, and it was one of those stories, and I've had that card over 30 years, and then I send it in to get graded. So to me, that was a card that, it has importance to me. Just like, Pepino Man said I think Steve Yelt's card, that it was the last card to complete his set. I don't remember, it was a 78 set.
89 tops, I think
89 tops. 89 tops. That was it's such an important card for him. And that's, cards that have an emotional or something that touch your heart or have a memory. And those are the cards to me that are the most valuable, really, to personally.
Yeah, that's why I go after exhibits. My dad left me a group of about 50 of them, and the mantle in there has so many creases and stains and tape marks. That's one card I don't think I would ever let go, and it's probably worth, $5 or $10. It's, it's the card that means the most to me, pretty much.
Yeah, my dad, he said that his dad threw all his cards in the fire. Like he was like, yep, my dad asked me to do something, I didn't do it right away, came in, smacked me against the head, grabbed my shoebox full of cards and threw them in the fireplace. And he was like, after that, never collected again. So he was like, there ain't no sense if they're all going to get ruined. So he didn't have anything from his childhood. The only thing that baseball related I got from him was, the love of the game, and then but the LK line autograph baseball that he gave me. But other than that, I got nothing else. Baseball from my dad.
We got us good stories about LK line. No I'm kidding.
Those are stories along my trips. That I hear from other people that stuff that happened. But yeah.
I'm just lucky that my dad found my collection because it was up in a closet somewhere. I had moved away, and then about 10 years after I'd moved out, my dad was cleaning out and he found it, and my mom called me and she knew that I wanted it. And she told him, "Don't throw that away." And I had moved out of town. I wasn't even living in South Florida at the time. But I was very lucky. But unfortunately, my dad, my whole family, we came from Cuba. So when we came from Cuba, everything that they had was taken away from them at the airport from us, from my family and everything. So we brought nothing. My dad was a baseball fan, and I don't think he collected cards, but they did go to a lot of games over there. I remember that my grandfather sponsored a team, and I told this story, and a couple of major leaguers played on that team. One of them was a pitcher, Orlando Pena, and my grandfather owned a grocery store, and he sponsored one of those teams in the town that he was there. The store was in, and he got to meet the players, and he told me stories about a lot of the Cuban players, and he got to see Minaminoso and all those type of players in Cuba, and so I heard all those stories and all that before he passed away, and my dad also knew a lot of those stories and shared that with me. And when I was young, they took me to the spring training games and things like that. Here in South Florida, the Orioles used to be the team that played here in spring training back then. So got to go with my dad and my grandfather, and it was just that's what really got me started. I played Little League, of course, but once I'd met the ball players, when I got to meet Brooks Robinson and Jim Palmer and all those Orioles players, it was just, I don't know, it was just so exciting. And then right after that, I had to go get cards. I had this, yeah. And my neighbors, of course, collected cards. My kids across the street, and they had a ton of cards. And I figured, I got to get into this, and that's how I got started. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, those grandparents, those grandpas. I was collecting for about a year. I bought 67s, and then in '68 I was buying them, and then I went over to my grandparents one day, and my grandfather had a box of 68 tops for me. So I got to spend the afternoon opening those on his porch. That was pretty fun. I still have the insert card game set from that day, so it's kind of special. Yeah, those are the ones.
Set. I got the whole set here. Yeah, I love these. I mean, and it's just a
those are
cheap
fun
way
to play with.
To collect these, to collect all the different players.
Yeah, they're like pictures. They're really clear pictures. I like those.
They're cheap.
And a lot of Hall of Famers.
A lot of Hall of Famers. I mean, you got Killebrew, and just everybody's there.
Those are tough centering, though. I'm not sure if you guys, the ones I'm looking for Aaron, there's always off centered, like dramatically, but they're not that expensive. It doesn't matter, right? But
they're not that expensive. Mine, pretty much, just looking at them, most of them are off centered, and these, I think, most of them were pulled from packs. I started pulling packs in '68 were the first ones, and there was a few in '69, but really in 1970 was when I really started collecting, and that's the first year that I actually bought enough packs to build a whole set.
Did either of you guys play the Milton Bradley game or the Roger Maris board game?
No, I didn't.
No.
I never saw it until probably 10 years after I started collecting.
I never knew about it at all either when I was collecting at that time.
I think Don went to run off and go grab some stuff.
Night, Lou.
Good night, Lou. In those days, there wasn't a lot of ways to communicate with other collectors as far as what's out there. And there were a lot of regional issues that you really didn't see sometimes. Oh, look at the game.
Awesome.
You're on mute, Dom.
Dom, you're on mute.
But yeah, this is the 1970 complete game.
There it is.
So I got
That's
all
the
the
one I
cards
got.
and stuff. Yeah, the 69 and 70 look
The
very
70.
similar. The 69 has the names at the top, and the 70 has the names at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But they got similar pictures and art style and stuff. So little spinners and pieces.
What's in the
But-
back? Show the back of one of the cards.
Oh, the back of the card.
Yeah, the back of the card. Okay, that's the one I got. So it is a 70. Yeah, I was wondering. I wanted to make sure what year that is. So the one I got is a 70. It's just like that one.
Yeah, the only ones I've seen that are really expensive are the 68s, I think, for Milton Bradley. And there's not a
Right.
71. They did like 68, 69, 70, and 72. Is what
Yeah,
I'm seeing
Because those
right
those
And
look
the
just like the
non-player
actual
card.
cards. They look like the Topps cards.
Yeah, the non-player cards have the M cap for Milton Bradley with the bat and ball, like the fly out, ground single, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never seen
It's
the
just
box
really
set.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, you don't see that box too often. Yeah.
Dom just got lucky.
I did. It was actually on the vintage Twitter thread that Cards with a Story does on Wednesday nights.
Mm.
This guy had it for what I thought was already a pretty reasonable price. I shot him an offer and he took it, and I was pretty thrilled with it.
I'm just glad you didn't have to mow somebody's lawn for it.
No, that would have been way too easy.
I don't know. I like Chris's stories about mowing lawns and getting those cards out of that bag. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And how he's got them labeled with the tape, which ones he got from that lady. I can't remember her name, but those stories are great.
The lady supposedly had so many more that he didn't get too. That's crazy.
Yeah, he wanted to get money. He's like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking?
I just need gas money.
Yeah, Reggie's got a surprising amount of 69 issues. It's pretty interesting when you start looking deeper into like the Topps decal and the different things that he has out there.
He's in the Super too, right? He has a Super that year as well,
His
right?
Super is very
Right.
expensive, yeah.
Do you guys have like anything with him in the Orioles uniform that one year he played?
There was a highlight card and there's like a picture pack that he's in. There's not a lot picturing him with the Orioles.
No, I don't think so.
Because I know on Dylan's card he just showed, like in there, it had like the 4 teams, but it only represented like him from the major 3. Nothing as an Oriole except for the hat showing on the card.
And instead of a cup of coffee with the Orioles, he had like a cappuccino, like a very small cup.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very long-winded there.
I think Score had a turn back the
traded
clock
cards
card
out.
back in the
An
90s
angel.
or 1990-ish.
Yeah, it was a Score highlight, I think.
Let's see here. No,
Yeah.
Quite interesting. One of the rare pieces, I guess. What'd you call it? Rare?
There's a very rare one that it's I guess it was never distributed or something like that.
Yeah, I like the auto Dylan just showed for the upper deck. That first autograph insert Chase, right?
Oh, yeah. That's
That
a
was
sick
awesome.
card.
I want to get all those Heroes autos. The Williams is probably super expensive. Obviously, I want the Aaron. But the problem is I don't trust the autos, right? Because, like, they're hand numbered. It's like, oh, guys, you're killing me. I know Dylan
think
said the
that-
logo is different. I don't know. I need to look at that video closer.
You got to look at the hologram in the back. The hologram in the back is a different shape for the authentic signed. But you're going to run across a few ones that are going to be tough because there's one that's Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench signed together. That's going to be a.
Well, and then the Mantle and Griffey Jr. is just
Of
ridiculous.
course, that one. Forget that.
I saw one of those at the
10,000 or more.
show today.
Did you
Yeah,
see
some
one?
guy
What did
had
they
one
want
at
for
the
that,
show.
Scott? That's like a
The Mantle.
$10,000 plus card now or something like that.
Yeah. They got the Yastrzemski Musial Mantle one, too. And that
Score.
one, that was very
Yeah.
pricey, from Score.
Yeah, but the Yastrzemski by himself isn't terrible. I've seen it for like 100, $150. Like,
Yeah,
they're about-
it's a little more than a regular Yastrzemski auto if you just get him.
Yeah. Which is crazy because he won Triple Crown. I mean, some of these players, I just don't think they get the credit. I don't know. It's great if you're a player collector of these guys, though, because like you can get some good deals. Unless they're short printed top stand-ups, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I just saw Jim got one, right?
Yeah, Jim got one out of nowhere. The top
That was
stand-up.
awesome.
Here's
see
a
that.
Triple
nice.
Crown winner I
Oh,
picked
that's-
up today. With
Oh,
Frank
Oh, now I
Robinson.
gotta go
on
grab
it.
mine.
That is an awesome sticker. 868 top stick, all-star sticker, or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I
one
don't
of
have-
3 panels. But
That's
it had
awesome.
Frank Robinson on it, so that's why I picked it up. And didn't hurt that it had Minnesota Twin. The one that beat out Sandy Koufax for the Cy Young.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
Very
God.
nice.
Yeah, I got the Yaz full panel one.
Nice. My
That one would have
Yeah,
been in the
these are
middle.
really tough. Yeah, the middle. They'd have the 3 and then the 3 on the full sheet with the big ones in the middle.
I have a certain Braves player coming soon. Not the full panel.
Here's mine.
I think it arrives tomorrow, hopefully.
But yeah, those are really tough. Those stickers. They're fun cards.
Yeah, it went for more than I thought, but I wasn't gonna let it go. I don't know. Not as bad as the Joe Jackson card, obviously, but I was like, man, this is a lot for a sticker.
So many different issues that I just don't remember when I was a kid or when I was younger, growing up in those days in the late 60s and 70s. So much stuff that you know now, and you never even saw those.
But yeah, those tops
Okay.
transfers are. And then the earlier tattoos from like 60, I think. I've had a hard time finding that. That's 60s tops tattoo. Can't see it. Good looking.
Yeah, those punch outs. I never saw those growing
Oh,
up. Those were
and then the-
issue.
Yeah, the plaques too. The plaques are crazy, right? Those checklists.
Yeah.
It's like $20,000 for a checklist. I'm like, I can't do it. I'll never probably get that one.
You know what I like that
99%.
you know what I
Okay,
did what I did lose when I was my collection, I had an entire bag full of those coins from the 1970 and
71 and 64. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a ton of those, a whole bag full of those, and I never did find them again. I lost the entire thing. I don't know what happened with that.
This is a
Yeah. Well,
I have
that's Salada.
Oh
no.
wow.
This is a proof of the old London coin from '65.
Okay. No, I had the metal ones. The little metal ones.
Yeah, these were metal, but the proofs are paper.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I had never seen that, especially the proofs like that.
Did you get those today, or did you have those already?
I had those already. I sent them into SGC. They're the only ones of each one in existence, or graded so far.
Yeah, you have all 6 of them or whatever, right? You showed it. Those are really cool. The Bob Allison ones, right?
Yeah, I have all 7 of the Bob
7.
Allisons.
Sorry, 7.
Wow.
Really cool.
That's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that's super fun.
Yeah, I've gone deep in on Oddball's almost all I buy now. I don't buy much anything else besides Oddball or non-standard, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, because you
John
can get
Mangini.
the standard stuff you can get at any time. You can find the standard stuff everywhere. But the oddball, that's the little hidden gems sometimes.
Yeah, it's the fun stuff to look for.
Yeah, that's why
I
at the
just-
Nationals coming up, only if it's something that I know I might not be able to get that kind of deal in Chicago, I'll pick it up. Stuff that's really scarce. Otherwise, I'm just trying to be hands off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
it used
sure.
to
Mike.
be-
Sorry.
No, it used to be less expensive, but now people are kind of gravitating toward that, and more of it's coming out at shows. I saw a lot of cool stuff at the show today. Like, I sent you a picture of the Swift
Meats. Yeah.
Hank Aaron.
Yeah, the 57 Swift Meats, which
Yeah.
is kind of a scary car because it's like body parts,
Yeah.
dissected body parts, basically, right?
That's the one card I like when it's actually popped out and put together more than the actual thing because it looks like a crime scene otherwise.
Exactly.
Let me get my black light out and see if there's any.
Yeah, there was one at the REA auction that I let go. It was like $600 with a Frank Robinson, but I don't know. It's hard to buy ungraded for some of those things. That's why I just wanted to slide to make sure it's real. And Can't tell if it's Ben or I mean, I don't mind the grade. I don't worry about the grade too much, but it's more about authentication for me at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not buying all the high grade anymore. I have a lot of ones now, way more ones than I ever thought I'd have. A lot of authentics too. It still work.
If it's at an REA auction though, you're good. You're pretty.
Oh,
good.
I figured that was
Insurance
good.
wise are good.
Yeah.
I showed that Ripken sheet to a Golden guy today, and he looks at it and he goes, "I really can't authenticate it here." So I don't know what he meant by that. If I had to send it to them, or
he's just the face of Golden.
I think so. There was a cute girl there too, so maybe he was trying to impress her.
Those are just salespeople basically taking in whatever orders.
Yeah.
They don't know too much about what you got there.
Yeah.
Who else was at the show today?
PSA's there, right? Beckett's there.
Yep. Beckett's there.
ComC obviously with Rich.
Yep.
ComC's blowing up. I love ComC.
Yeah.
It's addicting. Every week I put $100 in. I feel like, and just fill up the cart, and then.
Yeah.
I have yet to look in ComC.
Just send them a bunch of cards. That's what I did. I sent them a whole 800 count box of cards that I wanted to sell that were stuff, between less than $10. And I send them tons of stuff over there, and I build up now $100 and something credit. Now I'm going to start looking.
I think Heritage was there too today. I think I saw their booth.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're in Dallas, right? So.
Do they have like autograph signers and stuff there too, or
not very good ones? A few, but not very. No one really notable. Rocket Ishmael is always there every card show. It feels like the place. People like that.
Brian Bosworth.
Yeah, nothing like Shane Tilley.
So it's like the national VIP signers.
Yeah, the ones you get with the free with your your VIP package.
Like, who's this person? We played 3 games with the Broncos. And
he was famous.
Hey, but we'd all like to have a Moonlight Graham card, right? And he won, so you never know 100 years from now, right? But
there is a Moonlight Graham card. It's a Rose postcard.
Yeah, that was awesome when he showed that. Yeah, that's where I think that's where the auction houses are smart because like Dave said today, you kind of if you get your eye on something, if it just strikes you, like you're not going to lose. So I almost kept going on that con set, like I mentioned. I'm like, I really can't do this. I want to go to the National, have some money to spend, right? So it's like I had to tell myself no, but it was everything I could do not to bid one more time.
Unless it's a card that you're not going to find something like that at the National or something like that, But you pretty much can find anything at the National. I was able to pick up some great cards over there. I got the Minnie Minoso autograph 53 Bowman at the National last year. I was so happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fantastic card. You'll find it at the National, but if you're getting a ridiculous price before, during, or after the National elsewhere, you might not get that same price with the dealer at the National.
Yeah. I kind of passed up that dealer the first day, and then I came back. It was on a Saturday. He still had it, and I said, I gotta get it because I'm never gonna see it again. And the guy was willing to deal a little bit with me, so he did. At least not what I wanted to pay, but not what I didn't pay retail like what Mike says.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was just going to say there's some guys that are dealing today. Just about everybody that I asked came down in price for me, so
that's good.
So what is your negotiation tactic?
What's your best price? I'll start with that. And then they'll say maybe $10 off, and I'll say, well, can you go to this price, or I'll pay this price. And they'll look and they'll go, okay.
Especially cash talks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Orlando? The same thing?
Pretty much the same thing. I mean, I usually ask them, do you have any room on that card, or try to find out a little bit about how he got that card. Because sometimes if they get it in a trade, they got more to work with than if they paid straight out cash on it. So I try to find out, where'd you get that card from, or how did that card get to you, that type of thing, and then ask them if they've got any room on that. And sometimes if they graded it themselves, they may say, yeah, I bought it raw, I got it graded, and they got a nice grade on it. They got room on it because they bought it raw and they graded it. So I kind of try to. I talk whenever I'm ready to buy something. I talk to the dealer a little bit. Get just kind of break the ice. And a lot of times, if you're a collector of a certain card or a player or whatever, and you tell that to the dealer, they may
Yeah.
be a little more flexible. So that's the kind of stuff. Just kind of be friendly with them, talk to them, and then
See, I like that approach you got because I never
with them.
thought of like actually asking where they got the card, how long they had it, kind of thing. So I never, thought of that tactic with it.
Yeah,
Matt,
I was a dealer in the day, so I remember what people asked me, and then I you pick that up over from like some experience and stuff. But it's always good to know, if it's a card that the dealers has had in their showcase for 6 months or a long time, they may want to move it a little bit more than something they just got and they paid cash for. So it just they'll share that information if you ask and you talk to them and stuff. Most of the time, some dealers may not, but most of them will.
Yeah, when I bought that Frank Robinson sticker panel today, the dealer first thing he said was, "Well, I've had that in this box for I don't know how many years. I knew I was going to get a good price."
That's
That's
awesome.
right. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest benefits, I think, of being in the oddball rabbit hole is the fact that baseball card collecting is a niche in its own, but the more you get into these different sectors of it, there's less people that are looking for it.
Yeah.
So when you hear stuff like that, that's been sitting in a case for a while, or I got in a trade, or I got this in a collection, and nobody's really been asking for it or giving me fair value for it, that's when you can really get like an amazing deal on something that you don't see every day.
Yeah. The other item I got today that was kind of cool, I got this Mickey Mantle intercom cardboard advertising.
Oh, wow.
That's
You
awesome.
can set up an intercom in your house. It's got the little hole at the top there. You hang it on a pin. It's cardboard.
It looks like his Employee of the Month photo.
Yeah, and the intercoms were attached down below here.
Okay.
And this is what's left of the advertising. Somebody kept that all these years.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mantle down here because he's an Oklahoma kid, right? So like his brother or his son's always there, I think, and does out in that lobby area.
I love all that stuff that Scott can find. I mean, that to me, that's just so neat because it's stuff you never see. And what I like about stuff like that and also the exhibit cards is most of that stuff is not really, as far as what they in comps, you can't comp that. So when you go buy some of that stuff, you get it a lot cheaper because, what's one of these, what's this, worth? And a lot of times they're like, I don't know, I'll have it in there and, whatever. And you get it for a couple bucks.
And what variation is it? That yours is a 1949.
I don't even know. I'm not you're the expert. I've been picking up what I could on these things.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's a newer one. But your Larry Doby's a 1949 because it says an exhibit card on the bottom.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. See, I don't know. I got it for $5. I thought it was a great deal.
Yeah, it is a great deal.
So I figured, what? And I picked up the Minoso, and I think that also, I picked up this one too.
So Scott, are there variations for Aaron besides the stat back ones? Are there other ones for Hank? Do you know?
Great.
Just the stat back, I think.
Okay, because I have all three of the stat backs. There's like 2 from 62 and 1 from 63, and then the other one, right? So I got the red one in this week. It's really not. I mean, it's a 2, but like, happy to get it, right? Just to finish up the exhibits. Obviously, I should have got that Pittsburgh exhibit we talked about via text. I'm kicking myself, but
there is somebody did say that the printed in USA can be in 2 different sizes, but that's getting a little bit too much minutia for me.
Oh no! Now you've opened up Pandora's box.
I'm just learning about these things. I learned it watching Scott and everybody else showing the exhibit cards.
I've got an authentic one, Matt.
Wow.
Nice. In a different size, or what is that one? Which one is that? Is that snapback?
Min size. It's min size. It's blank back.
The 47 to 66 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one on grade. I was gonna probably bring that with me to get. I might take it to PSA. Don't tell anyone.
A lot of them come back min sized for some reason.
Yeah. What mantle are you missing, Scott? What year?
The 66. It's portrait with pinstripes. It's really hard to find for a good price.
So you found them. You just not at a price you're willing to.
Right. A 2. I think it was a 2 sold on eBay for $750.
Wow.
Okay, you have more self control than I do. I would have been done. I'd have like sold.
I emailed the guy and asked him what his best price was, and he said that's it. So, and then it eventually sold. So, he was right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on your list for the National.
Yeah.
You're bringing stuff, Scott, to sell and trade, right?
Yeah, whatever. Some duplicates, like these exhibits that are graded that I have here, they're tradable at the National. So I've already got one of each of them.
And what day are you getting in?
We're coming in Wednesday afternoon, but I'm not going to go to the show till Thursday.
Okay. Can we all have first dibs?
Might not be as exciting as you think, but I don't care. That's fine.
You don't happen to have a 21 Ruth exhibit duplicate, do you? No, I'm kidding.
No.
I don't have 20 grand to give you, so it's okay. So, good.
Spend that on Hank Aaron.
All right. Well, I've been doing that.
And Ty Cobb.
Hopefully, I get that nice one. Like, I mean, Orlando, your Ty Cobb 205 is awesome. I know you did that one video with your mom outside that one time and showed it off. Like, I'm okay with authentic if it looks that good, right? I actually almost bought an authentic one, but it went a little higher than I thought it would on an auction. But yeah,
mine looks great. It just has somebody just gave it a slight haircut on the top, you know.
Yeah.
But mine is great. The corners are great, and the gold border around it is all pretty much intact.
And that's so condition sensitive. It's such a
it's
hard
unauthentic, and there's no chipping on it. And I figured, God, a Ty Cobb, you know, I don't care if it has a little trimming on the top. I know it's trimmed, and I bought it as trimmed, but it looks beautiful. The eye appeal is just awesome.
As long as it's real.
Yeah, of course, it's slabbed.
Protected, right? That's why I want it in a slab protection too, right? It's authentication and protection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it. Hopefully, we find a good deal. I don't know if there's gonna be good deals to be had. We'll see. I'm gonna follow Scott around. Dave, bring your CSI kit for us. I need to be able to see these cards up close with a loop.
The best deals you're gonna get with cash. You're gonna have to just take cash.
I know. Yep.
Unfortunately, that's just so some dealers are that way.
Oh, you got the black light. Oops, got it.
The black light is great because you could see if they has any coloring, or especially like the 71s. That black light will show you right there any coloring in the corners or anything like that, or any alterations.
Yeah, you know, speaking of, I have a 71. I haven't even looked at that yet.
Oh boy.
You can tell. Look at the edges.
Yeah.
Well, it's my 71 Nolan Ryan.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Usually, if they Sharpied it, they don't do a good job, and you can see it on the edge. But blacklight will tell you for sure.
Well, lucky enough, looking at this, there is no markings on that.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Any new marking will shine.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. I'm in the clear. I'm good.
You're
It's
good.
original.
Yep. Now, is it trimmed? No, I'm just kidding.
If you want to get it autographed, I guess you can send it to Nolan Ryan and he'll sign it for $75.
No, I got a
sticker on the card.
I got an 8x10 and a baseball autographed already. I'm good.
Okay.
You know, I agree with Matt on that. I don't like that sticker that Nolan Ryan puts on the back of every card he signs through the foundation.
I mean, it's nice that he signed for $75, though. I will say that because he doesn't do card anymore. But
I don't want anything on my card stuck on there, even if
Yeah,
I know
it
he
should have
signed
like
it.
like the friggin', piece of paper saying that's authentic
Yeah.
coming from it, and not the, you know, put it on there. Didn't like Stan Musial, and like Stan the Man, like didn't they do the same thing?
I don't
There's a
know.
few companies, a few people that actually did that too.
I think
I
Brett
think
Favre does it.
I think there were certain Jordan cards that were signed at a specific event or something that they actually put stickers on the back of those Jordan cards. And there's a few things like that. Some, like the foundation things type cards. And even some Hall of Famers. I have some postcards, Hall of Fame postcards that have little stickers on the back. Well, PSA will put a sticker on the back. If it's
Yeah, I
not,
think JSA does too, I think.
Yeah.
JSA does too. Yeah, it's authentic. They put the sticker on the back of the postcards and stuff.
I don't mean to switch gears, but did y'all watch John Wade Boggs fans interview with Wade Boggs? Heck, how great was that?
Not
I
yet.
finally did. That's so awesome.
That was awesome, awesome, awesome.
Another we had some great videos this week alone. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
But I can't imagine what that must have felt like. And he did so well. I'd have been like nerve wracked to do that long of an interview. I mean, I know they've spoken a few times together already,
Yeah.
right? But like, I thought it went really smoothly. I can't imagine. And it was nice to get to get that done before I had to move, right? Take that in his card room.
Yeah. It was great.
I got a lot of catching
he
up
was
to do
prepared,
from
though.
vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
watch
sorry,
that,
Scott. I
Scott.
mean to ruin it for you. It's awesome. You need to watch it.
But John, he had a whole list of questions and he was prepared. You could tell
Oh,
he
yeah.
was looking at his questions, and that kind of helps too because it keeps you on track. And it was just great to hear that Wade Boggs said that he would even send him some stuff from the Hall of Fame. I think he said.
Yeah, they said they closed the Ted Williams one down, and he sent some stuff back to him, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
he
the
said
Ted
that
Williams
he
Hall
was
of Fame.
working
That's
them
right.
out.
so spoiler alert, Scott. Sorry, or for anyone else who hasn't watched it, but I don't know. That's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a long interview. It's a good. There's a lot of great stuff in there.
Very collector focused too. I mean, he did a really good job. Kind of address on a few things that are hot topics around. This whole concept of these patches not really even being worn at all, right? Or maybe it's some other player even. It's just crazy.
It was great to see Wade Boggs said he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't just wear a shirt, and take it off like that.
Yeah, I need to watch that video.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Looking forward to it.
We got some bad news today with Jim Brown's passing.
I saw that just before I got on.
Yeah.
I
That's
missed
the
it.
news of the show. Going around the show pretty fast.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was at 87. 87?
Yeah, 87.
And he was doing shows up until recently.
He was pretty high functioning for his age from the last couple media things that I saw him in. That was a shame. I know, Orlando, you inspired me with those football postcards.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm glad that I got Jim Brown's autograph this year on my post Hall of Fame postcard. Yeah, on my goal line art.
Yeah,
I was missing the Jim Brown autograph, and thank God I got that one.
Yeah, I won't even look at his autograph for 2 years now.
Yeah, and he's got a great autograph. It's just so clean and neat.
The pride. That's what it's the pride in the autograph. No, nowadays, like it's just a check mark or a scribble or whatever else, and it's like, yep, that's authentic.
It's crazy. I was looking through because I had some autographed baseballs that I really haven't shown much on the channel at all, and I was trying to gather them up because I had them in different places, and I was looking at the autographs, and they're all so nice and neat. And Harmon Killebrew has got to be the prettiest autograph I've seen. It's just, you don't realize it until you look at it, and then you see it on the ball, and it's just right across the sweet spot, and it's all even and beautiful. All of these old guys, you can read their name clearly, almost letter to letter, just like a Mariano Rivera now. Of course, he's a newer player, but that's why I like the vintage so much, because they really did take pride in their autographs. Yeah, and Charlie Gehringer's Yeah, incredible autograph there.
I mean, Babe Ruth too.
Harmon Killebrew at Twins Fest would only sign about 300 autographs during his session, which was lower than any of the other players because he would take his time and write it out. He'd look the people in the face, smile, and shake their hand or whatever. He was the perfect gentleman compared to some of the players we see today.
Yeah.
There's
That's
another
awesome.
one, like Luis Gonzalez. I think he has a nice one. And I see, who was another one? Oh, Bobby Richardson. His is really nice.
Yeah.
You need to meet with him, Dave. You need to go beat the Bobby.
I know. I gotta.
I mean, of course, in my favorite, Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle's just got a beautiful autograph.
Yeah.
And if you look at all his autographs, they're all just the same. You wonder, how did he sign so nice and neat? And it's what you said, Scott. They all take the time to sign it. And Wade Boggs said it in the interview too, that his line would be long because he would spend time with each one of the fans, and he would talk to every fan, and he would take his time and and sign here. And John even said that I think he had a piece where he had, I don't know how many inscriptions, and he would tell, Wade Boggs exactly, put this here in this spot and put this in this spot. And, and it's great just to see an athlete that just takes the time to do it right and do exactly what the fans wanted,
Because wasn't it like back in the day, like the ownership like made the players like practice their signature to make it legible. So, when people ask for autographs, it's like they knew who it was. And nowadays, it's just like there's nothing.
That makes sense. I know the first in-person autograph I got at a card show was Warren Spahn, and I asked him if that was his World Series ring he had on, and I've told this before, but he said he took it off and he handed it to me and he said, "Go ahead and try it on."
Wow.
You won't see too many people doing that nowadays.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's sick.
And that's something I always remember.
I was gonna say I saw this great group and I had to jump on, but I gotta run. But it's been great talking with you guys, and I'm gonna see all of you guys in Chicago, so that's really exciting pretty soon.
Sounds great.
Yeah, bring that board game so we
night,
can
guys.
play it.
Yeah, by the hotel room.
Maybe. All right, good night, guys.
Thanks,
All
Tom.
right.
Keep up the good work, Tom. What a great guy. It's great to see a young collector like that getting into vintage. I mean, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do my channel, just to kind of get the younger people into the vintage scene. And it's just great to see that. Every time I see a young collector on YouTube, that's, last year when I went to the National, the person I hung around with the most was Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards. And, he's one that's he went to, I think, 52 shows last year. I don't know if you guys follow him at all, but he's I think he's 25 years old. And he's a young collector. And, his dad owned a card shop back in Central Florida. And he grew up with cards. So he's been a vintage collector. That's what for all his life. And we kind of met up through YouTube, and we had made up kind of a trade we were going to do at trade night over at the National. And so I met him at the National, and we had a great time. Went to the trade night, and he actually, that's where the first guy that really put me on his video and said, "Here's the trade we're doing, and here's Orlando, Collector's Dream." And I never showed my face, and it was like I'd only been on YouTube for a few months at the time, so he really helped me out with that. And after that, we just spent some time together, went out, had pizza, walked the boardwalk out in Atlantic City, and it was just one of those things. Somebody that you really never meet, never would think that an older 60-something-year-old guy is hanging around with a 24-year-old, and we're like best buddies because we're all talking vintage cards, and those are the kind of things that are just so much fun to see that.
It's great to see all these young people on YouTube. Like Minnesota, we've got like Cracker Jack cards and
Right.
Pure Collector, and there's a couple other ones that are up here. I was over to
Liam, Junior
Yeah.
Fanatics. You have Liam and a few
Yep.
other guys. There's a whole bunch of them out there.
I mean, RJ's son Jake knows so much about baseball. I mean, and Zach's son Porter, those two kids know more about baseball almost than I do. I feel like Porter, some of the stats that come up with or the history, it's amazing. I enjoyed both those channels a lot.
Tyrus is picking up a ton of it from you.
We're getting there. We're trying, but yeah, he definitely came in because he's been video game central or focused, I guess. Trying to steer him away from that a little bit, but of course that's where he's at right now. So he left to go play video games. But
Hey,
it's tough. We're trying.
kids are kids, you know.
I know.
Well, they're more impressionable, and like their brain soaks in more stuff than ours nowadays, too. So, I mean, it's like they're just picking up and understand. And I mean, think about it. You know, for us, it's like you learned as a kid, and you still remember everything.
Yep.
You know, and nowadays it's like you're trying to I can't keep up with most of the stuff that's going on.
Well, yeah, the current players. I don't know most of the current players. I mean, I watch games, right? But I don't know like all their stats like I used to growing up, right?
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to stats. I just knew players and who I liked, and then it's like they were famous, and that's all that could matter to me. You know, small town kid. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, it was great. Like in baseball in the 90s and 80s, like I mean, Andy Van Slyke was a god, but like no one even talks about him anymore, right? Players like that were so good, but like kind of lost over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Mitchell had a couple of good years. I mean, just players they don't hear about anymore.
Joe
Juan
Carter.
Gonzalez, and there's a lot of players that really were great. You know, even
I was
Sammy
really
Sosa.
surprised.
You don't hear about Sammy Sosa anymore. And
No.
Sammy Sosa, I mean, he had
98,
what,
summer 98 was great.
years? He had like 3 years where he hit over 60 home runs.
Yep.
So it's just you know, different times, different eras. And then you
As-
go back to the Dead Bull era, and that's kind of era that I like sometimes. And you know, you have people there that were hitting 10, 11 home runs a year. You know, so it was just a different time when Ty Cobb was playing, and it was all small ball.
Yep.
You know, it just
Mhm.
you know, it was crazy. If you look at some of the players like Tris Speaker and their batting stance, and they would choke up on the bat and hold the bat like not like this, but like this, because they just wanted to make contact, because it was a different game back then. And you know, you had to get on base. Nowadays, what I don't like about it nowadays is that if, for example, they do the shift, you can't hit against the shift, then they eliminate the shift. No,
Yeah.
come on, you should be a good enough hitter that if they hit you, you know, if you can't pull the ball, you got to hit it to the other field. And if you don't know how to hit it to the other field, in my opinion, you're not a professional hitter. You know, you can't. And the best hitters can hit it everywhere, like a Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs will hit it everywhere. You know, whether they hit it
Ichiro,
where
Hunting
they ate. Yeah. So that's one of the things I see with the new players, that are kind of babied too much, I think, where,
Mhm.
you know, especially
Where's
the
our-
pitchers. The pitchers are the worst of them all. You know, the only one I see now is Sandy Alcantara. They'll let him pitch, you know, 7th, 8th, and even 9th inning. I think he had the most complete games, and I think he only had like 3 complete games in the season. Where if you look back at a Bob Feller or a Warren Spahn, you know, they had more complete games in one season than a lot of these players now have in their careers.
Or pitching double headers.
Exactly. You know, the stories of Satchel Paige are just incredible, where he would pitch, you know, 2 complete games, and there were times where he would tell the infielders and the outfielders, just sit down. You know, and literally they all would sit down, because he said, I'm going to strike this guy out. And he would do it. You know, and you think, you know, these are stories, but he actually did that. You know?
I think it was
Well-
like the chasing cardboard thing when they went to Raleigh Fingers' house, where I think he mentioned the thing with Satchel Paige, where they wanted to get him on the MLB medical care
Yeah.
thing. So you had to be a professional player to get it. And so he pitched, and he was like, what, 67 years old or something and like striked out like in 3 innings, like of batters.
Yeah.
At that age, I'm like, good God, man,
Yeah.
that dude's a legend.
He's
Yeah.
definitely a legend because he was a legend in the Negro leagues and he was a legend in the major leagues. I mean, he was definitely, and you have a lot of players that were like that. And
Yeah.
Minnie Minoso is one of those players that he played for many years in the Negro leagues and in the Cuban leagues, and his rookie card is I think 1946, and he played all the way throughout, and he actually played I think in '82. He's the only player to play in 5 decades, or at least come up to bat in 5 decades in the major leagues. And I mean, it's just crazy to think, somebody that's going to play in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then he came up to bat in the 80s again. And he was, I think, in his 60s when he came up to bat and actually got a hit in that game. I think he went 1 for 2 in that game.
Dang.
Remind me of I just read the other day the story of Willie Mays facing Satchel Paige. That's when Willie was just coming up. I think he was 18, and he got a double off of Satchel on the first time at bat. Satchel said something about he wasn't going to get a hit the next, not even going to see the ball the next time. So he had 2 strikes on him, Willie said, and he threw the third pitch and started walking off the mound right after he threw the pitch. And Willie struck out.
Those are great stories, but the beauty of those is that they're all true stories of things that actually happened. It's just that's why they're legends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to find a newspaper article that told about Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige playing in my hometown, and it said that Josh Gibson was going to point. He pointed at the fence, said he was going to hit it over the fence, and he hit the ball over the fence and over the river behind the fence. So it was about at least 380 feet. Pretty amazing.
Wow. Well, there's stories about Mantle, how far he's hit the ball. Mantle supposedly hit a ball almost 600 feet. And in those days, they literally measured it when it came out of the stadium and where it landed outside the stadium.
Yeah.
And, I showed a little video on Mantle there and showed him limping kind of like a Kirk Gibson because he was, from the first year he played, he tore up his knee the first year. And he was still a great player. But, there's so many stories. And that's what I love about baseball and the history. And that's what kind of took me back even further, And if you guys have never heard of King Kelly, go way back to the 1800s, the 1880s, read up on King Kelly. He was the Babe Ruth back in the day, and even though Cap Anson was the first one to have 3,000 hits and he was the real star of that era, the real famous guy was King Kelly. And King Kelly didn't play as many years. He died at, in his mid-30s. But he was the guy that everybody talked to and talked about. And in those days, he was the highest paid player. And they wrote the famous poem, Casey at the Bat, was written about King Kelly. King Kelly is Casey at the Bat. And the story goes that the writer of that poem went to see King Kelly at a game. And this is all documented, and there's a video done by a 10-man baseball fan, Tanner, about that. He has some actual documents. And it shows that this writer, I don't remember the writer's name, he was a poet. It was his first game, his first baseball game, and, King Kelly was supposed to be the biggest star and the biggest thing in baseball, and everybody went to see him. So when he went to see him, he was all excited to see him, and then he struck out. That was a mighty Casey struck out. So after all that, he wrote the poem, and then after the poem came out and became famous, King Kelly, Mike King Kelly, actually performed the Broadway play of the Casey at the Bat, and it's a pretty great story. This was a big big dude. He was over 6 feet tall during those days, and he was the base stealer. He was the first guy that invented the hook slide. And they actually wrote a song about him, and it was the first pop hit ever in the United States called Slide Kelly Slide. And it was a big, big hit back in those days. And the guy was super fast. He was a catcher and an outfielder, and he invented the hook slide, which nobody had ever done that before. And he changed the rules of the game because in those days, when a new player would come in, all you'd have to do is you just from the dugout, so and so Kelly coming in as catcher, and then you just come in and exchange a catcher. Well, Kelly, in one of the big games, there was a pop-up that the catcher wasn't going to be able to catch. He came out of the dugout. He says, Kelly coming in for catcher. He came in and he caught the ball, and the umpire had to call him out because that was the rule. He called himself in to the play, so they had to change the rule on that. So there's a lot of things that he did, and they changed the rules, and Cap Anson was kind of the big star, and Cap Anson actually got him to play with him, and they played on the same team. And because Kelly was a drinker, kind of like a Mickey Mantle type player, they had to kind of control him. So Cap Anson was really the captain of the team, and he actually had another player follow King Kelly throughout everywhere he went and try to stop him from drinking, and tons of stories that are told and written about that. And also the media would cover up some of the stuff because he was the big player at the time. So what Camp Anson decided to do was, because of King Kelly, because he always would come out of shape, he created spring training. So spring training was created back in those days by Cap Anson, and he created it because he wanted to get King Kelly back in shape for the season. So, those type of things is really what got me going back in history and find out how were different things done. And the first player to ever throw a changeup, Tim Keefe was the first player. It was a Hall of Famer, won over 275 games. He had almost 3,000 strikeouts. And again, great stories. I could talk for a long time. We've been talking for a while, but it's fun to go back and research all of that stuff. And once kind of, I like the history part of baseball. I'm a historian with that. So once I studied and learned all about the players back in the 60s and 50s, I kind of went back and back all the way back to this, and it's fun.
Yeah, I remember
talking too much.
I remember when Barry Helper bought the cane that whoever recited Casey at bat the very first time. He bought the cane the guy had, and it was engraved or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now. The guy that recited.
I don't remember, but it was the guy I think who wrote the poem. It was, yeah.
I thought it was amazing that Barry Helper, 100 years later, was able to buy the cane.
Oh, well, that guy had so many unique things.
Yeah.
That, supposedly they say that Barry Halper had the Babe Ruth. I forgot the name of it. The big one that's his first real rookie card.
The Baltimore one.
The Baltimore News.
Yeah.
Supposedly he had one of those, and he said he lost it in a move, in one of the moves or something like that. It's like, oh no, because there's only like five that exist. But I think I heard a story that he lost one that he had or something like that. But that guy had so much stuff. He had the biggest collection. I guess Marshall Fogel has the biggest now, but in those days he had the biggest collection in the times I was growing up.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Marshall's collection in person.
The owner of the is it the Arizona
Diamondbacks? Yeah, Kennedy.
Yes.
That's quite a collection too.
The Diamondback collection. You know what, guys? Let me tell you, the video that brought me the most views and the most subscribers was when I went to the National and I did the video on the Diamondbacks collection. I actually videoed they had it all on display. Did any of you guys go to the National in Atlantic City last year?
No,
No.
we watched your
They had it
video.
all on display, including his PSA 10 52 tops mantle. He had, I mean, the highest graded of all, the Babe Ruth rookie card. He's got, as far as cards, a comparable collection to Marshall Fogel. And I videotaped the whole collection in one of my videos there from the National. You guys should check it out and check out that collection. I got like 4,000 views on just that video alone from the National. And that really, it boosted my subscriber base a ton just by that one. I guess it went viral. I don't know. But you got to see the collection.
Well, yeah,
it
was a great video because it was timely, right? That was when they had that SGC 9.5 for auction, right?
So exactly.
We were all watching their video because we all wanted to see the mantles, right? So
yeah. And I did a little video on that one too.
So yeah, that Diamondbacks owner bought a lot of cards back when Dimitri Young had his auction, like, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago.
Oh yeah, Dimitri.
And that guy's got to be living a world of regret, right? He sold like the only 10 Clemente, the only, rookie card. Like, he had them all.
All of them.
And he sold them all for only I say only, like, I don't know, $10 million for all of them, but it's probably worth way more than that now because he had a lot of 1-on-1s, 1 and 2 PSA 10 rookies of all of them. Aaron, everyone.
Yeah, he had, I think, the only Reggie Jackson rookie in a 10 and a whole bunch of stuff like that.
He had a lot of O-Pee-Chee 10s too, which there was only one of.
Yeah, incredible. I'm telling you, I've gone back and I've seen that my own video. I go back and I look at it every once in a while just to see his collection again because it's just awesome, the cards that he has in there. He's got T206 Cobbs in an 8, and some even in 9s. He's got even the George Mikan basketball rookie card in there. And I mean, all this stuff in 9s and 10s. And I mean, the lowest graded are 8. And those are cards from like the, T206s and stuff like that. It's just incredible stuff. I mean,
yeah, I bet
those
there's
guys
amazing.
got the money too.
There's a lot of amazing collections out there that we don't even get to see too, that don't get YouTube visibility. You don't hear about them in the news. They're just humble guys that like their cards. I mean, I worked with a guy that had a card shop for a year and a half or so, and we went to look at a collection. And he pulls out this plastic case of 100 Wayne Gretzky rookies. Then he pulls out another plastic case with 78 more Wayne Gretzky rookies. And then and 5 of them are O-Pee-Chee. Wow. And then we go look at the basketball. He's got 33 86 Fleer sets and 15 extra Jordans. There's collections out there like that where people just hoarded certain cards and we never hear about it, never see it.
No, you're right. There's a lot of collections everywhere that people don't even know that what you see on YouTube is nothing compared to the collections out there.
Yeah.
And if you look on, I go on Net54 a lot and check out some of the stuff there. If you see some of the collections that are there, it's incredible. I mean, there's like, there was a post there that Jay Stoudemire, Josh, did. And he put a post and said, show us your Babe Ruth cards. And Josh has an incredible Babe Ruth collection. I mean, and he put out his Babe Ruth cards in there. And some of these collectors were just putting out cards Babe Ruth cards that I have never even seen in my life. And who knows where these things are coming from or who has them. And it's just, those are the kind of things that you just never know. There's a guy in Net54 called Ted Zandakis. And that guy has one of the best T206 collections. Not only does he have the entire T206 set, I think he's only missing the Wagner, but I think he's got everything else. But he has all of the rare backs. So he has like all of the possible rare backs. Let's say that there's a Christy Mathewson and it has 5 backs. Well, he has them all.
White Cat and Dark Cat.
Stuff like that you just never see. But this is a guy that's been collecting all his life, and he's one of these veteran collectors people know. He's one that he literally opened 49 leaf packs of cards himself when he was that young, when he was a young guy, and he still has his collection. So, but there's a lot of collections out there that we never get to see, and that's one of the things.
Are you going to the Net 54 event at the National or no?
I'm going to try to go to that. It's a dinner they're going to have, but I'm not sure if it's a Thursday night or I think it's a Thursday night. And I think Thursday night is the same night as the
YouTube get together.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Is that an invite only, or is it like anybody can show up that's part of it?
I think anybody can show up. I mean, I'm a member there, so
Me too.
I'm going to just, I got to see if I'm going to show up, and then I'll just let them know I'm showing up. But I think you could just show up.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's one of those things. It's just a hangout, hors d'oeuvres, and things like that, drinks and stuff. I don't think it's like a real dinner.
Okay.
So I think you could just probably show up. I don't think they're going to kick you out of any of that. Just like our YouTube event, people are going to show up. They're not going to kick you out.
Have they been posting on there?
Yeah, I think there was a thing. There was a posting done on there earlier.
Okay, I'll have to go
Go
look.
check it out in there. I think Leon, who's in charge of that, who owns the site, he posted on there that there was going to be a Net 54 dinner, and when it was and where it was.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Henry Aaron thread too of cards on there on Net 54, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen half of the stuff that got one guy. The sad part though, I'm not sure if the guys. I don't know what happened to the collector because like he hadn't posted it, but on there like in 4 years. You know, you can go like in the profile and see the last activity.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's still with us, just maybe logged off or something, right? But
it could be, but
cards.
Anytime you have any questions and all on there, that's the best place to ask, especially on vintage and oddball stuff that you don't see very often. Everybody there, will share their opinions and comments. I ever seen someone on the table at a card show? No, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen somebody just go to a card show to show cards. I mean, even though I do know, and you do see some dealers that have priced their cards so high
Museum.
that that they don't want to sell it and probably are not gonna sell it. But it'd be kind of stupid because you got to pay the fee, you got to drive out there. I mean, it's not cheap to set up at a card show. And to set up at a Dallas card show or something like that, I mean, it's got to be. I haven't done it in years, but you're talking at least, set up and everything. It costs you at least $500 just to get in there and get going.
Ain't the National like $5,000 for setting up?
Thousands, yeah. I don't know how much it is now, but you got to sell something to make your money back. I don't think you can just go there and stuff, but you do that in trade night, though. You can take stuff over there just to show off at trade night. When I went to trade night last year, there was a guy there that had just a whole box, just a box of cards, just a box like this. And when he went through that box, what he had in there were incredible Ty Cobbs, Satchel Pages. I mean, the guy must have had in that box alone over $100,000 worth of cards in that box alone, and he had it at trade night, and people were there, and I think it's in one of Ryan Nolan's breakout cards videos. He videotaped some of that. Him and I were literally looking through that box of cards and going through there and seeing. I tried to make a trade with the guy, but it didn't come out. But you never know. I mean, this was a collector, and he was an older guy, and he was collecting for a long time, and he had just a collection of cards there that you could never imagine. And people were really, I mean, he was selling a lot. He sold a lot. He probably sold more than some of the dealers did at the show, at the trade night. But,
the only people I know that don't sell cards at the show are auction houses. They'll put what's coming up in the auction out for display just to get people to bring in, or get people to sign up for the auction and bid on the items. That's about the only time I ever see that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, the auction houses do have a lot of good stuff. If you go to some of their they have. Last year, REA was there, and they had the display of cards that were some of the first cards ever made back in the 1800s. They actually had the first Peck and Snyder, which is the first card of the Reds, I think it was, and they had a whole display there. And those are great because you get to see stuff that you're never going to see and you're never going to be able to own or afford, but you get to see them in person. And it's good stuff. That's what I like about the National. Biggest game that I've attended in person. I attended all of the Marlins World Series games when they won the World Series in 2003 and back in '97.
No, Cabrera's rookie year.
What?
Cabrera's rookie year.
Yep, I was there. And I was at the game where Cabrera hit a home run against Roger Clemens. And that was two incredible times when one of the worst teams ever, the Marlins, with losing records every year, they make the playoff through the wild card both of the times and went all the way through the wild card all the way and won the championships. Both of the times that they've been in the playoffs, the only two times they won the championships. It's just magical. But they had a lot of players. I mean, people forget, we had Gary Sheffield playing with us at the time. And we had Kevin Brown, which was a great pitcher back then. And then we had other pitchers which were, Charlie Huff. But hey, he couldn't hit his knuckleball. And of course, we had Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez, and a lot of other guys. Yeah, there's Cabrera.
Yeah.
You had Jeff Conine. Was he on both? Was he the only player on both teams? Was it Conine, or was it
Conine? Is Mr. Marlin, and he was on. I think he's the only one that was on both of the winning teams. Yeah.
Because Huizenga just ditched the team after '97. He just dumped everyone, right?
Yeah, and it happened again. They dumped Cabrera, everybody else after that. So we dumped everybody.
At least if he dumped it, he should have bought Netflix instead of letting Blockbuster go to him.
I mean, we had the D Train. Dontrell Willis.
Did you have Josh Beckett too?
Josh Beckett was incredible. We had Josh Johnson. We had AJ Burnett. Yep, AJ Burnett, and it just it was a great team. And we had some young players, with Cabrera and stuff, and they just got rid of them. Got rid of everybody, and that was it. But
all right, I won. I'm out.
To beat the Yankees.
Yeah, the biggest game I ever was at, I guess, would be football. Would be the Super Bowl, '92. And then I went 90. I think it was spring of '92. I went to the Stanley Cup Finals, and went to the Grey Cup up in Winnipeg once, the Canadian Championship. The Final Four, I've been to that, where Duke beat Michigan in the Fab Four. Minnesota was getting a lot of good games about that time. So those were fun.
Yeah, mine was
Dave?
Game 3 of the 2012 World Series, where luckily enough I got to see Hank Aaron give Cabrera his Triple Crown before the game started.
Awesome.
Wow, awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, never been anything big. I mean, I've been to a lot of playoff games when the Rangers won good in the '90s, and they killed by the Yankees every year. But yeah, nothing else big. Not yet. One day.
I went to some of the Dolphin games when they had the undefeated season.
72.
72. I went to the Dolphin games from 70 to about 74. To some of the games, my uncle had tickets, so I would go every once in a while whenever he shared the tickets. And if not, I lived about 3 or 4 miles from the stadium. I used to ride my bike with my friends, and after the game, we would pick up the programs, and I still have a lot of the signed programs from some of the players, and Don Shula and Bob Greasy, and even some players from some of the other teams, from the Browns and from the Jets and things like that when they played. So that was just fun times. I still have those programs, but my sister cut one of them up and made a collage from a school project with some of my pictures of my Dolphin players. So it has like
restored that.
the autograph and then it's missing the picture. But hey, you know, it is what it is. It's still something that the memories are what counts.
Yeah, I got to meet Don Shula.
Did
That's
you?
cool.
Yeah, in Germany.
Wow, what a place to meet him.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird because we were out doing a field exercise, and they're like, Don Shula's coming out here to meet y'all, and we're like, okay, like I'm like, who the hell's Don Shula? And, you know, I'm like, and one of the guys was a big Dolphins fan. He was like, he's a friggin' coach, you know, and stuff. And I'm like, all right. Next thing, a Black Hawk is coming in, landing down on the little airfield that's out there, and then you see him get off, and he grabs his gum and throws it off in the grass, and he comes up and he's talking with his ring, you know, doing this, like showing off his ring, and I'm just like, all right, like whatever, kind of, you know.
Yeah, I met him
10 minutes.
I met him a few times because he had a hotel here called the Don Shula Hotel. I met him there, and a few of the Dolphin events, and I would meet him and stuff. Super, super, super nice guy. And people don't realize how good of a coach he really was. I mean, remember, he not only coached the Dolphins for many, many, many years, the winning Dolphins, but he also coached the Colts before that, and with Johnny Unitas. So he was a great coach back then. And he was also a player. So he's a legend. He definitely is a legend in South Florida and a legend in pro football.
They beat the Vikings in that Super Bowl, didn't they?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
beat the
'cause
Vikings, yeah.
I've met the losing coach several times
Yeah.
because he had garage sales every year. Bud
Yeah.
Grant's garage sales.
Yeah, they beat the Redskins in the game where our kicker Garo Premium tried to throw a pass or something, and they missed the kick, and the Redskin guy got the ball, intercepted, ran all the way back for a touchdown. The Dolphins looked like they were going to win. It was 14-0, and then he throws the stupid thing, and it was 14-7, and they did end up winning 14-7 at the end. But some fun times.
Yeah.
Looks like the Heat won the game here. I was just looking at the Miami Heat. Looks like they beat Boston today.
So up 2-0 then?
They're up 2-0, yeah.
Are we in the finals?
Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay. I'm not paying attention to the basketball.
They're beating Boston.
Yeah, I just kind of, I was looking every once in a while. They had on TV.
Oh, that's why Dom got off. He went to go cry.
He went to see the end of the game, I'm sure, because you're right. He's a Boston fan. Yeah.
Stars are on the verge of losing. Update for.
Yeah.
And I watched the first, like, right before the live show, I watched, like, the first 15 minutes, and the Knights already had, like, 13 shots on goal. I'm like, this is going to be a long night for our netminder. So, not good.
Talk about a long night. The Panthers yesterday went four overtimes.
Yeah.
I stayed up for
4
3 of those. I gave up at like 1 in the morning here, or whatever it was.
I gave up. It was way too late for me, and I'm here on the East Coast, so I had to give up on that one. But it was crazy. I saw it through the first overtime and part of the second. I was going. They literally played 2 games.
Yep. Plus.
Dang.
It's a good time for for South Florida right now, with the Panthers taking the lead and the Heat taking the lead. And actually, the Marlins are in second place right now. They're not doing too bad.
You got a really good hitter from the Twins too, Arise.
Yeah. Arise is one of our best hitter right now. Arise, yeah. No,
He was over 400
hitters.
for like 35 games or whatever. He was like over 400. I was like, oh my gosh, how good is this guy?
He's awesome. He's our best hitter right now. But we got some pretty
Don't
good
be
hitters.
speaking that, because next thing I know, Theo's going to be stealing this dude in our fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
You don't have to trade. You have to accept trades because he offers them.
Arise was hitting 400 in the beginning of the year, but he's still
Like
doing
60
great.
or something great. It was still really good. Hey, I got to jump off, guys. My phone's about to die, unfortunately. So I don't mean to cut and run, but
All right, guys.
thanks for having me on, Dave.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoy, having y'all always on. You seem like you're all my always coming on here, supporting me. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, I'll call you. I'll text you in the morning, Scott. Y'all have a good night.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
good night.
Good night, guys.
I'm going to be getting off too. So. Good night, Matt.
Bye bye.
That night.
Yeah, it's probably time to hit the hay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, guys.
All right.
Anyway,
Thank
it
y'all
was
again.
fun.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Orlando.
Thanks, Orlando.
Thanks, guys. And
All
thanks
right.
for everybody in the chat. Appreciate you guys checking in with us.
For
Thanks,
supporting.
guys.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah. Take care, Dave. Thanks,
All
my
right.
friend.
Only if
Thanks,
it's good,
Scott.
right?
See
Good
you.
night.
Good night.